Welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Grateful Gem podcast. I'm your host, Jasmine Shannelle, and today we are talking about feeling frustrated. Stick around because gems are definitely about to be dropped and you don't want to miss them, so get ready. I need everyone listening to this podcast episode to follow us on Instagram at the Grateful Gem Pod, and also follow me at Jasmine Shannelle. Don't worry, I spelled everything out and left it in the notes below. Take a look. See you there. Now let's get into this episode. Welcome back, Jams. I know that it has been a while since I have recorded an episode. And so today I just want to be a little transparent with why I haven't recorded and where I am currently in this time of and season of my life. First, I just want to check on y'all and make sure y'all are okay. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you are staying focused. I hope that everything is working out in your favor and that you continue to push through whatever obstacles you may feel are holding you back. I kind of feel crazy saying that to you guys because those are the exact things that are happening to me right now. I'm all over the place. And I'm just trying to honestly just find my way back to where I can be at a space where everything makes sense, where I can be able to better understand what it is that God wants me to do. I feel like I'm in a place where everything that God told me or God revealed to me, I feel like maybe was interpreted wrong. But I think that's just a part of where I am currently in my life because, sometimes we get so frustrated with where we are and the way that we're getting to what we're praying for because we don't really understand what God is doing because our ways are not God's ways. And even though we know this, we quote it, we live by it, to be honest, it doesn't make the process any easier, especially when you're catching hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. To be honest, that makes it that much harder. Are you loving this episode? Great. Don't forget to leave your feedback by rating and leaving a review on Apple iTunes. Also, don't forget to subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. And make sure that you follow us on Instagram to keep up in the know of what's going on with the podcast. Okay, let's get back to the episode. Because all of that plays a big part into what it is that you're doing. It plays a part in how you look at the next moment, at the next day, at the next hour, and points where you try to have a positive mindset. You try to gather your thoughts and come back into a reality of, everything's going to be okay. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to figure this out. From there, it gets even more harder because in those moments when you have a good mindset, it's like more things tend to happen. And so that is just a point where I am, that's exactly where I am. And it's just hard to get through those moments when, you feel like, I'm on the burning end, defending for my life, trying to figure out, okay, what am I supposed to do? So at this point, I'm just at a place where I'm asking God, God, what is this? Where am I and where am I going? Because it doesn't, to me, make sense. And so for the last couple of months, for the last couple of weeks, I've just been, reiterating my life, trying to figure out, God, where are you going to take me? Like, what am I going to do? Because in a moment where you're so happy and rooting for other people, you lose that hope and you lose that cheerleading for yourself because you're so busy, happy for everybody else, glad that they're making it. And then when you take a second to think about yourself, it's like, gosh, everybody is moving on. Everybody is getting these things accomplished. Everybody is successful in these areas. And here I am at a point where I feel like I've been struggling for years to try to manifest a positive mindset and keep forth that same attitude towards myself. And I think a lot of times that also plays a part in where a lot of people say, that sometimes your biggest support comes from people that don't even know you. And I've been thinking about this lately, and I say, it's crazy because I have people that I've met on Instagram and people that we have become associates, or we talk a lot on Instagram, and, they're very uplifting. I'm very uplifted. I'm, sharing their information, liking their stuff, just making sure that, that person's stuff is out there. And it gets to be a question of, is me rooting for you just a reason not to root for myself? And it's not a matter of I can't root for both of us at the same time, but I think sometimes we get in a point where we get so fearful and we get so distraught in what it is that we're trying to do that we have so much faith in other people. And so the faith that we should also have, and the keyword I said also, because you definitely should be able to uplift the next person into what it is that they're doing as well. But I think that sometimes the faith that we need in our own walk gets kind of shadowed because we lose hope and we lose faith in what it is that God had planned for us. And so we take that and we give it to someone else. And then when we look at our life for that 2 seconds of 5 minutes of cheering for somebody else, it's like, dang, like here I am pushing this person, uplifting this person, and trying to help them get where they're supposed to go when I can't even figure out what I'm supposed to do. And of course, you guys know, I talk about this a lot in The Power of One, about how, we are not equipped to build ourselves up. We have to have a good godly counsel. And I solely believe that, you have people that are rooting for you. You have people that are praying for you, but you gotta help yourself in some type of way. But I'm at a point where, if I'm completely honest, that I'm burnt out. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. There's a lot going on right now, health-wise, life-wise, mental-wise. I'm just all over the place. And it's like trying to get myself to have a steady thought for a moment is the hardest thing. And some of you may be like, oh my God, I talk to you all the time. Or, a lot of people say like, oh, you're the most positive person I know. And I'm just like, yeah, that's me genuinely. Even through times where I may sit here and have a day where I'm crying all day and you pick up the phone, it's just like, that goes away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm helping you get to where you need to go, because at the end of the day, God doesn't equip us with the tendency to, he didn't equip me with the power to be so selfish to where it's just like, when people need your help, that they can't count on you. But what I have realized in this moment is that people will expect you. You guys may hear that I'm short of breath. My asthma has been really, really, really acting up. So it's kind of hard to really talk and get all of this out, but I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any points. This isn't going to be low and drawn out, I can tell you that now, but I just want to be real with you guys. But I realized that when people expect or they get a certain aspect of you, they always tend to want that. So sometimes people don't even realize when you're going through. People closest to you won't even know when you're having a bad day, when you're going through a lot, because they're just so used to you. Some people will like see through you trying to be yourself and like, they ain't like, what's going on? You're not yourself. But some people really, I ain't gonna say they don't care, but sometimes people get so caught up in themselves that when they call you, they don't really hear what you're saying. They don't really hear the hurt in your voice. They don't really hear the sadness in your words. They don't really hear that. And so I've just I have kind of distance myself from the world. Like, sometimes I pick up my phone and sometimes I don't, because I get to a point where I'm frustrated, because it's just like in my head, I'm thinking, can you not hear that, I'm not okay? And I see all the time where people post about like, it's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to not be okay, but it's okay to also make time for yourself and take care of yourself in the midst of when people want to have you continuously show up for them in a way that you can't even show up for yourself. And you have to be a little bit more cautious of how you allow people to interact with you, honestly. And that's just the point where I'm at now. I don't, at the end of the day, I'm at a point where I'm not going above and beyond if I don't feel like it. Of course, I'm going to still always extend out what I can do, but all that, saying yes when I wanted to say no at this point, because I'm so like, I'm on a boat that is like literally flipped over. I can't do anything outside of my means. I'm trying to mentally get capable of getting myself back to the Jasmine that I used to know. And I haven't been that person since like June, May, I would say May. And it feels weird because sometimes I wake up and I'm like, who is this person? Like, where is the person that I know? Where is she? And it's crazy because you can talk to the same people every day and one person will realize like, are you okay? Are you going all right? And 10 other people will just think that you're the same person. I think that's crazy. But that's honestly where I am. I haven't really been in the mood to do anything. I haven't really been able to get a lot of stuff done. Like even in my house, I'm able to but even in my house, I'm normally, cleaning up all the time, make sure everything is done. I have like gotten so far off track with that because I'm just like, listen, I don't have the capacity to get this stuff done. Not saying that my house is dirty, y'all. Don't take it that way. But I'm just saying that the way that I normally keep up and, I'm cleaning and doing all that other stuff. I just haven't been there to do that. I just have not been able to show up the way that I normally show up. And the reason why I haven't been able to really record an episode is because I feel so much like a contradiction, or a hypocrite. And the reason I say that is because, like I said in the beginning, it sounds weird sitting here encouraging you guys to have a good mindset, have a good heart, have the time to make sure that you're okay. When all in all, in reality, if we're being real, I'm not doing that. I'm trying, but I can't say I'm trying my best because, like I said, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of having headaches. I'm tired of having sleepless nights. I'm physically, mentally, emotionally drained. I'm just tired. So for me to get on here every week and continue as if nothing is wrong and that nothing is going on with me, to me is a big problem. I know people that do it, and that's cool. To each his own. But I am not a person who is going to be okay with that. And I think that, to be honest, that's okay. And so that's why I have not been able to really record like that, because I was having a conversation with my sister the other day, and we were talking about just where we are, having the same conversation. And, it's crazy because you never really know, like I said, what somebody's going through. You never really know how that person is doing. And so we just had a really, really, really long conversation about our life. And we both decided that this ain't it. This is not it. And we talked about how we've been trying to figure out our lives since we can remember, honestly. But I was telling her, I'm like, I'm 27 and I feel like I have not done anything that I wanted to do, or not that I wanted to do, but I haven't accomplished anything that I'm supposed to accomplish. And at one point in time, I can honestly say I felt like I did. I feel like I did accomplish everything that I was supposed to. I feel like I was on the right track. I felt like, God was speaking to me every day. I'm here. I'm for it. I just felt like, okay, Jasmine, you got this. You praying, God speaking to you. And now, what I'm saying? I'm at a point where it's just like, what did God tell me? Like, did he say that, or am I making this stuff up? Like, you get to a point where you lose yourself and you get so disconnected from God. And there's a sermon that I'm gonna link on here that I was watching from my church, my pastor Tim. We were talking basically. But he put out a sermon. I haven't even really been watching church like that because being home, I just have been so disconnected. We just started back having service in house, so that is awesome. But it's kind of hard to get in because it fills up so fast. But anyways, there's a sermon that I'm gonna link on here, and the whole time I kept saying, "Oh, he's been working." Or not working, but he's been What am I trying to say? Oh, okay. I kept saying, like, looking at the video, I was like, he's been virtually pastoring too long, because there were people in the building, but he wasn't really acknowledging the people in the building. He was just speaking out to the people that were watching. He would just say, put in the chat below, or, like this, or send a heart or something, just engaging with people virtually. And I was like, dang, we must really have been home for a while, because it seems like he's just so connected to the virtual that he's missing the people that's actually in the audience, that's actually sitting there. And so as the matches went on, I just kept thinking that, like, this guy, like, you still the best. Don't get me wrong. This man still puts it down when it comes to these words, okay? And that sermon got me together. I think it's called, This Was Planned. And I was like, ooh, it got me together really quick. Not quick enough, because I'm still struggling in that area. Although I do believe everything that he said. He was basically talking about how, what you're going through right now is not a setback. It's not set up to fold you. It's set up to mold you into the person that God is calling you to be. He's taking you through a different route, because he has a different outcome for you. Because when you get there in his terms, his way, you'll continue to keep whatever he has for you in his way, in his arms, things like that. And so I was like, God, this is so good. Like, this is so good. And so towards the middle of the message, and I was like, I literally started like boohoo crying. And I was like, wow, like, I really felt like this man was literally talking to me. And he was like, you're sitting here, you're watching this, and you're thinking da da da. And literally everything that he was saying was stuff that I was actually feeling. It was stuff that I was actually thinking. And I said, no wonder, it feels like he's just talking to people that's watching virtually, because the message, he was like, he even said, he was like, this message is for somebody that's watching me virtually. He was like, this message is not for everybody, but it's for a specific person. He was like, and you're watching me right now, you're thinking da da da. And I literally was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I was like, and here I am talking about he is like 2 mindset into virtual, when all in all, this message was handcrafted just for me. And not even just for me, but for someone else as well. Because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that was sitting here like boohoo, trying to figure out like, ooh, but I'm definitely going to link that message here, because I feel like maybe somebody else needs to hear it. And if you may not need to hear it now, you may need it later. So I definitely say watch it, save it, pass it on to somebody else, because they may also need it. But yeah, I'm just trying to get my momentum back, trying to figure out. And it's crazy, because in the midst of all of this, I still reached out to people, still checking on people. And it's amazing to find out that people are devastated the same way and feel the same way. One of my good friends, she was like, I definitely understand, you had a lot going on. She was like, I'm there too. I'm trying to get my momentum back, trying to find who I am. And I was just like, oh, it feels good to hear that I'm not the only one. But I don't want to be the only one in this position where we get so comfortable with worry and stress and fear that we don't excel to the limits that God has for us, because that's not in God's plan for us. He wants us to prosper. He wants us to be the best person that we're supposed to be. So I'm praying that everyone that has this mindset, that is in this mindset, can get uprooted and get pulled through whatever breakthrough that they need. And everybody breakthrough doesn't look the same. So I'm praying that a breakthrough comes. I'm praying that we just take it one step at a time, and that we be real with ourselves and real with everybody else. Because let me tell you, I had to get off of social media. Although I'm not even a social media person, but if you follow me on Instagram, you can see I haven't posted. I'll share some stuff in my story daily. And it has since the last couple months been about God, been about uplifting, been about a message of that sort. Not only is that for you guys, but that's also for me. So I'll get on there just to share that. I haven't really been on Facebook, which I'm not a big Facebook fan anyway, but I haven't been on Facebook. I haven't really been on anywhere. And so I got on the other day, and I was just like, ugh. I saw a lot of people just getting stuff accomplished, and I'm just like, Jasmine, what are you doing, man? Time is literally leaving you, and you're still sitting here trying to figure out what you're doing. What are you doing? You have to get yourself together. And so I had to stop and realize that at the end of the day, I don't want what somebody else has got. I don't want a successful business because somebody else got it. I don't want a happy life because somebody else got it. I want what God has for me. So yes, I want to be happy. Yes, I want to be successful, and I want to be content with where I am. But I want that the way it looks for me, the way that God has it for me, not because somebody else got it. So I had to literally log off social media because I feel like that was an attack of the enemy, getting me to just like hate myself and hate where I am, hate how far I've come, because I'm spiritually trying to get uplifted. I'm not going to speak on spiritually weak because that's just not it. But I'm not as strong as I normally am when it comes to my spirituality. So now it's just like, girl, you're literally defending for your life. So this type of stuff right now, you just don't need to see. And it just get overwhelmed. Some phone calls I can't answer, because I know that it's just not a phone call that I can handle that day. And so I'm just praying for better days, not only for myself, but for everybody who's feeling like this. And I just pray that we all get back to where we're supposed to be. And not even get back to where we're supposed to be, but I pray that we get to where we're supposed to go. Let's not go backwards. Let's go forward.